If you're an avid fan of the Smash Bros. Games, you've probably noticed by now that when you're playing with friends... Actually, never mind, that's really not a relatable hypothetical for gamers. Anyway, there's just something special about Yoshi that makes it so when somebody decides to play as him, it immediately singles that player out as the literal Antichrist. I do not know why so many people unanimously hate playing against Yoshi. It is just a fact of life. And although most would find this sort of negative attention to be an overwhelming burden on their experience, I'm actually like 90% certain that that sort of reaction is a Yoshi main's lifeblood. Like, I've yet to meet a Yoshi main whose #1 goal isn't to unapologetically, methodically, and sadistically break their adversary's spirit like a large green egg. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then get ready for the show, buddy, because it's only just beginning. Time for you to master Yoshi Day 1. So, to start things off, in order to understand this fighter, first you gotta know that when it comes to character properties and specs, Yoshi has one of the most haphazard freak of nature builds in this game. First off, you probably wouldn't assume just from looking at him, but Yoshi is heavier than 3/4 of the cast, including Ryu and Ken, aka the beefcakes who snort creatine and butt chug protein shakes, and Mega Man, a man that is made entirely of undoubtedly very heavy metal. In other words, Yoshi finds himself comfortably in the heavyweight class. However, he's also immensely mobile, with generally above average speed stats, including the fastest airspeed in the game, along with the second highest double jump in the game. This is then contrasted by his remarkably low gravity and falling speed, which make him real floaty. Put this all together and what you have is a character that can hold on to stocks longer than most, has better speed and mobility than most, and also has an easier time recovering and performing aerial attacks than most. Now, is this not an absolutely bonkers combination of traits that is enough to turn the heads of any stat-tracking, sex-not-having Smash Bros. Nerd? Absolutely it is. But don't think for a second that things don't get weirder from here, because you bet your fat green ass they do, so open the door, get on the floor, let's walk the motherfucking dinosaur and talk about the #1 doctrine of every Yoshi player, which is, of course, that of the one true god, egg. See, Yoshi is a dinosaur of many talents, so long as those talents are strictly related to the production and distribution of eggs, which you'd think would be a sort of a limiting strategy until you see what this ambiguously cloaca'd prodigy is capable of, and you realize that an egg-centered playstyle can be incredibly effective in the right hands. For example, his up special is called Egg Throw, and as the name states, Yoshi reaches into his actual butthole, pulls out an IED, that's improvised egg device for those who are unfamiliar, and tosses it out to his opponent at an arc that can be controlled by the player. It is an absolutely superb projectile capable of covering a wide variety of oppositional approach options, and while this does leave Yoshman without any real recovery move to get back on the stage with, the first 3 uses of this move when activated in the air make Yoshi jump up ever so slightly, which is good not just for recovery, but also for stalling out an adversary. Also worth noting, if you take a close look first at Yoshi's shield, then at literally every other character's shield, you might notice after close inspection that Yoshi's shield is, in fact, an egg that holds a special property where the shield doesn't shrink, disallowing Yoshi from being shield poked at the cost of having a consistently large and therefore more vulnerable shield. On top of this, Yoshi's side special allows him to travel along the ground in egg form. It isn't the most useful attack though, I'll be real. I mean, its damage is momentum based, so maybe if you pray hard enough, Isaac Newton will bless you with, I don't know, super acceleration? Anyway, moving on. You know how earlier I was talking about how Yoshi players are practically hardwired to break the spirits of their competitors? So what if I told you the majority of that strategy spawns from a single move called Egg Lay? See, for this move, Yoshi sticks out his tongue similarly to his grab animation, and if he catches a player, they're popped out as an egg. The more damage the character has accrued, the longer they're stuck in there. And while it's certainly effective at trapping people on stage to get in a free hit or two, I think we all know where this is going, and if you're a Yoshi player, it's probably the most beautiful kill option known to mankind. And honestly, it's not even that tough to land, so please, pop that egg right off the stage and watch the controller soar. So anyway, now you understand just how utterly absurd Yoshi is as a character, but the fun doesn't stop there because Yoshi also holds an unwavering love for kickflips, tail whips, and skull bashification, which come in the form of his physical attacks. A prime example of this being his aerials, which alone are just really good attacks, but when paired with the potential that his high mobility and floatiness allow him, they can be arguably the best moves in his entire moveset. Down aerial, for example, throughout every single iteration of Smash Bros. Has held the title of the highest damaging aerial in the game. If all the hits land, it is a lethal 28% flutter kick, meaning unless you really like being stepped on, getting hit by this is gonna suck. Neutral aerial, on the other hand, only hits once but is incredibly fast, making it great for breaking you out of your enemy's combos and preventing them from hitting you with some unnecessary damage. Then you've got back aerial, which is a tail flapping, ass clapping, fast and heavy hitting spacing move and edge guarding attack that can follow up his forward throw or back throw to take out an enemy quite neatly. It's also a good alternative to Yoshi's slower but more iconic forward aerial, which I can only describe as being the Space Jam of aerial assault tactics because A, if you hit your opponent with the sweet spot, they're getting slam dunked into another solar system, and B, because getting dunked on so severely by this attack would make just about any sane person go fucking Looney Tunes. And while we're on the topic, if you'd like to really test the limits balance of your enemy's sanity, try chaining an up tilt into anywhere from 1 to about 200 up aerials, and watch not only your opponent's fighter, but also their grip on reality blast off into the stratosphere. In other words, Yoshi's real good at juggling. And once you're finished launching those suckers into orbit, you can always use your down special, Yoshi Bomb, to ground pound your green egg laying ass right back onto solid ground. By the way, when activated on the ground, the move can also pop you up into the air before slamming you back down in a feat of lethal ass blastification, capable of taking a stock in one of the more demoralizing ways possible. And rounding out Yoshi's physical attacks and his moveset as a whole are his smash attacks, which may be slower and harder to land, but can pack a punch to solidify an early kill in a pinch. With down smash tackling both sides of Yoshi with that large Incredible Hulk's dong-esque tail, up smash utilizing the art of the surprise backflip chin mushifier to take opponents straight up and out of the park, and forward smash pushing the limits of Yoshi's thick and durable skull by bashing it against whatever the hell the guy wants, because if we're being honest here, he doesn't have to worry about the long-term effects of concussive trauma if the head injuries are way too severe for him to even live long enough to experience them anyway. And on that bright note, that's where I'm gonna be taking my leave, because you know all you need to know. So go out there, train hard, troll harder, and remember that even if you can't claim a win after all of that, ask yourself what Yoshi would do, track down their house, egg the shit out of it, and move on with your life. Until next time. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching, and thank you as always to my patrons who are on the screen right now, as well as my top tier patrons who were shown just in that last screen thing there. I really appreciate all of you guys' support. As always, I got my social medias at the bottom of the screen, so if you want to support me further, follow those. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Thank you guys as always for your continued support. It really does mean the world to me, and I'll see you around. Bye!